What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the garage, and we've got a huge turnout already. A lot of familiar faces and a couple new ones, which is awesome. Glad to see you guys. Thanks for joining us here at the 8 o'clock hour on the eastern side for the #1 tuning live show that is shot in my office and probably in my state and maybe in the world. I don't know. You guys tell me. So, there's a couple new faces in here. There's a lot of new faces to the channel. One of the videos got hot this week. Through the roof. Awesome. So, hopefully some of the new people show up in here. And if you are new to the channel, make sure and say, hey, down in the chat, I'm new. And this is a setup where we ask questions, get answers. And honestly, it's gotten to the point now we get so many questions, but there's so many intelligent people in here providing answers that it's just a great way for everybody to get together, talk cars, talk tuning, talk modifications, performance, and have a great time on Thursday. You're not a noob. You've been here before. Hey, Nick, welcome back. That being said, let me get the weekly shout out to the new patrons out of the way. We had a few new patrons from last week, and if they're in there, stick your hand out. Say, hey, thank you guys for supporting the garage. You are what makes it happen. And we've got Dan, Brian, Thomas, Richard, Robert, Stuart, Jim, and Gabe. Awesome. You guys are the best. And as people start to trickle in here, I will give you guys a quick update kind of where we're at. I talked to Holly today. My Terminator got delayed. Thank you, holidays. I'm dying inside because I was hoping to start tearing the top end of the motor off this weekend. And on top of it, the car's running right now. It's actually running. I've still got a couple DTCs to figure out what was going on. One of them being, there's a map sensor. One of the O2 sensors is throwing a DTC, and then one of the camshafts sensors is throwing a DTC. But it's just been a wiring nightmare. It's no fun, no fun, no fun. So, Danny Z, you're not a noob. Hey, Jerry, welcome. Good to see you. Hey, DMC Bigfoot, welcome back. David asked, still liking that VCX diag thing for his cheap Tech 2 option. I love it. I've used it twice this week alone for troubleshooting. It's great. It is the best money. I will tell you this much, David. That $100 for that little device has been the best money that I've spent on a tool in the last year or two. So, definitely worth getting into it. Alien Tech says he put the new math tables in the Camaro SS run strong. That's what I like to hear, brother. Getting that thing sorted out, Phil. Good news, good news, good news. Man, a lot of familiar faces with some new faces. It's awesome. John, I tell you, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Very excited to check it out. I'm been grabbing up all of the stuff that I need for the auxiliary stuff, such as, basically turning the alternator into a dummy alternator, looking at how to get the AC command, because everything's done through the ECM, so much of that stuff. On top of it, we're going to be diving into some CAN bus. Analyzing, searching for messages, filtering messages out, and possibly seeing if we can duplicate messages. I've done some stuff on the LIN bus way back in the day. There's some of my first videos that really started this channel was talking about the LIN bus, which is the kind of the low-speed single-wire bus that does a lot of the communication between like door switches and stuff like that. So I'm anxious to dive into the CAN bus and see if we can't decode some of the CAN bus stuff and possibly, figure some of that stuff out. So, Brian says, start tuning my wife's Suburban 08 Flex Fuel 5.3. I'm having an issue with the throttle while cruising. If I get off the pedal completely and get back on it, there is a horrible delay. Brian, that's possibly a transient issue. Have you dived into the VE tables yet, Brian, or are you just running kind of math only on it right now? Dylan, yes, we are going to initially piggyback the Holley EFI off the stock to keep the dash working, but hopefully the goal is to figure out the CAN bus messages that the dash is looking for, and then we will find the associated Holley EFI message. I have a device in mind in particular that has two CAN channels on it, and you can go in and actually set up a translation table from one CAN message to another, where we could take the Holley EFI, which is a different message platform, and change it over to what is the, I don't know if the gauge cluster uses the OBD2 standard to read, or if there's another CAN bus protocol that it's using, because CAN bus is not necessarily a protocol. OBD2 is a protocol. Get my mouse working over here. There we go. Okay. Jim White's been dialing the Trailblazer based on the MAF 101. Never been stronger, still way out. Awesome to hear. Got a little bit of lag today, guys. I apologize if it, hopefully it'll catch up here. Not sure what's going on with my internet. Hey, Randy, just got done watching your video on the bed tilt. You were lucky to have 4 of your bolts missing. Made it a little bit easier on you, huh? DMC says, I'm having some issues on my 01 Chevy 2500 LQ4. I'm having fuel surges between 2000 and 2500. I mean, just got to dive into your fuel trims. Got to look at everything, Bigfoot, and make sure. Also, watch your timing. Make sure your timing's not doing some weird stuff in that area, because sometimes it can feel like you're having fuel trims, and it can actually be weird, like timing bumps or timing dropping out. Brian says that the delay is not in there whenever the truck is in park or neutral. That's very interesting, because you're still on the same maps, Brian. Lathan, they do. That's not the one that I use. I use the CAN bus sniffer that I use has wire terminals on it. Then I use an OBD2 adapters. The microchip one, I'll throw a link out there. Hey, Simpsons, welcome. Thank you for joining the live chat. Welcome back, Sinister. Yeah, Brian, as I said, check your VE table, get into VE, and if it's still stumbling after you get your VE started dialed in, let me know. If your wideband goes crazy, DMC, you got something going on one of your tuning fuels. Casey said, just had a guy pee in me the details to unlock my old tuner lock. Good. Don't have to scrap that ECU. Jim White, the cold weather shouldn't really affect your MAF tune, because the MAF, the way it is set up, it compensates. You might be hitting cells higher up in the MAF range that you have not hit before, though, because the air is going to be denser, and so you're going to have higher hertz at wide open throttle. And I was trying to think of what all else. I also need to get underneath the car and get the transmission harness jerked out. And get the new transmission controller set up and ready to go. Dylan, I don't know yet. That's the answer that I am asking myself. That's what I'm hoping to dive in and provide some information. Now, I have a suspicion that a lot of the Generation 4 cars and Generation 3 cars, they're going to all kind of function off the same mentality. So this will give us an insight on the Generation 4. It is a CAN bus message. The issue is going to be, there is either the BCM is doing the data gateway, or there is an actual gateway in the vehicle. And so that is trying to figure out, like, if there's being any manipulation happening to the message before it goes from the ECM to the gauge cluster, but we'll figure that out. Nick says, how close to predicted torque should one try to be versus engine torque? Does VTT correlate? VVT, I'm guessing, no, virtual torque tables correlate with max torque values. And if I exceed max, where am I wanting to revise? Nick, on that one, you want to be fairly close. Your predicted should lead your engine torque, because, as I said in the past, predicted is your airflow torque, and then immediate is your spark and fuel torque, but predicted is going to be kind of the one that's out in front of everything. It's the slow response to the changes of your engine. And if you exceed max, you're going to want to bump up in the area where you're exceeding. But that being said, just don't go into the mistake that a lot of people make is they go into the virtual torque tables and just crank it way up, and that is not a good way of doing it. Simpsons, just type her out in here and I'll try and answer it to you, as long as we don't get things streaming by. Got my Gym 3 running today on run stand. Neighborhood kid came running. Awesome, Burley. Yeah, Brandon, you are right. Speed density only tune, downfall. Got to deal with the weather. Jim, it is still on jack stands. Going to be on jack stands a little bit longer. As I said earlier, Holly called me today and let me know that my Terminator is running late. Danny, we're just going to have to figure that one out. There's still some weird stuff going where your fuel trims go really wonky before that happens, like super lean, and that's throwing your STFTs into full bore because that's maxed out. You got to figure out that lean spike right before that happens. Wobuck says, here's a question someone asked me that didn't know the answer to on Gen 3. If one of your factory O2 sensors fail, no. Yeah. If you have one O2 sensor failed, it will not do any... Yes, even if one fails, it will go into open loop. No, because whenever you go into CFCO or DFCO, Danny, it does not affect your short terms. Your short terms should not be going wide open and then sticking wide open because you're cruising at that point in time. Saying stock factory. Yeah, I need to get back to that, Michael. I'm sorry, man. I've been tied up this week with a lot of stuff weird going on at work. VTT. Yes. No. You still have to increase it. I don't know what you're saying, Danny, but that's the issue when I drop down to idle cruise. DSCO won't kick on with that. It shouldn't whenever you're cruising. I mean, it should whenever you're fully off the throttle. What's going on, Wallace? We'll get the Raffle spam out of the way. Randy says it's minus 22 up in Canada. Is that in Fahrenheit? Because, I mean, if that were in Celsius, y'all be dead or something. That may be the way it's set up, Danny. I'd have to go back and look at your tune. There are a lot of things that can keep DFCO from activating. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got a hot crowd tonight. Nick says, I started thinking if I increase the values too much, it will assume I'm making more torque than I really am. No. That is a goal. That is what it is trying to accomplish. And in order to accomplish that, it is going to open the throttle. Those values are too small. It will close the throttle off, possibly pull timing. There you go. DMC says it doesn't matter. Negative 40 is negative 40 is negative 40. I don't know, Danny. I'm just going to have to go back and look at your tune, man. Look at your log, actually. Jim, whenever you say it goes way lean, like how lean? I mean, if it's still reading, there's something going on. Ooh. Biker Boy says, so I have to pull ahead on my project. New LS7 lifter failed. I hope that everything else survived, brother. Yeah, it's cold either way. Yeah, Jim, that's just you're in a different area of your table is probably why. If you're hitting DSCO, you know that thing, so it pegs out your thing. Nick, you do not want to shift up the negative cells. If you shift up the negative cells on your virtual torque table, it can cause issues where your throttle will not close. The negative torque is there to slow your engine down. Andrew says, is it possible, since running no cats, to remove one of the O2 sensors for a Gen 5 truck and use that bung for a wideband? Yeah. If you're talking about I'm guessing since you're not running cats, I hope you're talking about the front ones because you probably deleted the rear ones. You could still do it in the rear ones. You just need to be aware that the further away that you get from the engine, the more delay that there is on your reading, and that can cause issues with doing some tuning. Sure thing, LSX. I appreciate you stopping by. Oh, the dogs are going crazy. Well, fill us back in, Biker Boy, whenever you figure out what's going on. Bank 1, Sensor 1 is going to be on the driver's side for your vehicle, Nick. It is, the banks are based on the cylinder layout, and on the LS it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 from the front. That probably came across backwards, but the driver's side is odds, but it is bank 1. Hey Sean, welcome back, brother. John, I don't know about that. I'll have to check that out and see about doing the two-step and then have the boost control activate. Most likely you can, because even if you can't do it on the stock tables, you can use one of the aftermarket tables. I'm a little bit peeved that the aftermarket tables have a set number of parameters that you can only, kind of work with. You can't really build your own table from scratch, if that makes sense. Blake says, if you want to review my tune on your Supercharged 15 Yukon Denali, I will use that shoe polish to write your channel as promotion. I appreciate the offer. Nova, welcome. Hey, Dirtfloor, we were talking about that earlier. Yeah, we're up to 73 already. Hoping to break that magical number 80 tonight. Yeah, pulling second gear is fine, Jim. It's more about engine load, which on MAF isn't an issue. On VE, that can be an issue because you can't hit all the cells that you need to hit in the lower gears. You need to be able to get it out into a long gear where you can put a lot of load at a low RPM on it. Straight Dumb asks, did you alter the duty cycle for your low side when you went to the bigger pump? Listen, I did a video specifically on this, Straight Dumb, where I messed with the duty cycles and it made absolutely no difference because of the way the fuel pump control module works. It automatically backs the pump off to maintain pressure. So I tried to go in, and it was a failure video. If you go in on the channel and search for fuel pump, it should pop up that video where I went in, adjusted all that, and it made absolutely no difference on the duty cycle for the pumps. Brian says, one thing I can see on change on the pedal in the scanner, but it does not accelerate or even change RPMs. One thing with the pedal, I can see the percent change on the scanner, but does not accelerate What's it look like on your throttle body whenever you do that, Brian? That's weird. 79. One more person pops in here. We're going to hit 80. Break the record. Nobody leave. B says, just ordered HP tuners. Have a couple questions. Have no 353 Avalanche with the BTR Stage 2 truck cam along with 2200 stall. And a built 4L60E. B, I really don't have any videos on stall because stall, regardless of it being a 2200 stall, is something that needs just kind of tuned per transmissions. It's a little bit weird on that where you have to kind of tune for transmission fill. Getting a Bank 1 S102 reading, but wideband is on passenger side. Well, that would be why you're getting a Bank 1 S102 reading. Seeing high lean values. I mean, on a narrow band, you can't see high lean values. You see just lean or rich. There is no high or low. Thanks, Zeth. Yeah, you can hook to a trailer, Jim. That will change your load profile where you're at. James Taylor says, I have an LQ9 with an LS3 top end, Lunati Voodoo cam, have it idling, driving pretty well, but when coming to a stop, it drops RPM, then surges up and stalls. Disable your throttle follower, James. .05 is less, I mean, that's nothing. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying there, Nick. Yeah, Michael, I'm excited, as I said earlier. Hey, we hit 80. There it is. Oh, you guys called it out. Sorry, I'm not even paying attention. Randy pushed us over the top by cheating. Yeah, Michael, I'm excited, as I said earlier. Holly called me today, said it was rain behind. Hopefully it will be. I thought it was going to be in today or tomorrow. Really bummed out, but it'll be here next week. That is weird, Brian. Love these weird issues. Hey, Zach, what's going on, brother? The video cut out on VTT, so your torque sensor readings wouldn't be more than you're actually making. Engine torque is following peak torque pretty closely in my scan. It should. That's what you want. You want engine torque to follow your predicted. Ooh. You blew out a header gasket. Well, that's probably part of the issue. I was wondering what you were doing the other day whenever you were shooting flames out the back of your car. No, you're all right, Zach. Hopefully I kind of spit it out there. Listen, guys, we are up to 80 here. There's a lot of stuff scrolling by here. For some reason, if I miss one of your questions after the stream's over, hit it up in the chats. Leaks should not pull across. Not with where you're open. I mean, you should not be getting air in from your blown out gasket side to your opposite side. What up, Zero? I wish it was almost 70 here. It's going to be 60 here tomorrow. Jim White, my weird issue is extreme loss of traction at 60 miles an hour. It's a good issue to have. Yeah, Zero has a good point, Nick. Whenever you pull that out, get a straight edge on there and see if there's any wave in there. Dirt floor, you don't need to do that. But thank you anyways, brother. I know what it's like to be poor right now. Thanks for the smoky burnout. I appreciate your support as always, and for being my number one moderator. Number one, I won't tell anybody you're the only moderator, but Joe, still haven't gotten it in, man. I'm excited for it though. I'm excited. I've been getting everything ready. There's going to be a deluge of information. Yeah, James Taylor, what a red X-ray says will work, but be aware that it can throw off your airflow corrections if you get too much idle bump down in the lower RPM range. Generally, you should want to double check, and maybe you said that, as I said, you need to turn off your throttle follower because that's probably your issue, but if it is already off, check your corrections. Up to 85. Definitely setting a new record. We're going high tonight. Zach says, I'm a new patron. Thank you, Zach, for the support. As always. And still figuring it out. But how do I get a hold of you through there? Or is that possible? Yeah, that's exactly the whole purpose of it, Zach. You should have gotten an email. Check your spam folder to see if it got filtered out from the address to get help. And then you could just send me a message directly on Patreon also, Zach. Yeah, you might want to straight edge both flanges then, Nick. I know you've been fighting with exhaust leaks on those headers, man. Yeah, Rick, there will be some more VX Diag stuff in the future. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by and supporting the channel. It is off, James. Okay. Yeah, look at your airflow corrections and see how far off they're having to make adjustments. You're, basically you've got 3 different parameters in there, and the main one that you want to look at is, hold on, let me open it up and look at it here, so I'm not throwing it out. B, there's going to be some new stickers coming out soon. Keep your eyes posted. And speaking of which, any of the patrons who are at the 6-month point, you guys have packages that will be going out in the mail for the long-term patrons. Little bonus. Yes, the stall saver functions for the stalling issues. It's the... Hold on, I got an Audi tune loaded up here. Believe it or not, I have tuned some Audis. Let's look at something. I gotta find a tune. Yeah, Dylan, I will definitely do a detailed video on that because I see that is a big subject that is on the Holly EFI forums, and nobody really gives out any information on that stuff. So I'm not saying that I can make it work. I'm pretty sure I can make it work. You already got one. You're not getting another 6-month care package. Good Lord. Greedy. Adaptive idle. You want to look at your adaptive idle, your stall saver. Basically, look at your RPM in gear. And then the stall saver strategy is going to be based on the proportional, integral, and derivative. And so you'll want to look at your RPM error. James, I'm talking to you. You'll want to look at things like your RPM error that enables it, and you might want to make it a little bit smaller and make your airflow parameters maybe a little bit higher. You look at where they say this is the amount of airflow that we subtract if it's too much, or this is the amount of airflow that we add if it's too low. Go in there, you'll just kind of have to adjust those. This is one of those things, cams and stalls are things that just have to be tuned specifically to the vehicle. Everything's a little bit different on those. Yeah, John, and that's the thing is like, I've got to figure out exactly which sensors need to come out of the ECM, because on the Gen 4 platform in particular, a lot of the stuff that is on the instrument cluster comes from the BCM. Voltage, speed may come from the BCM instead of the ECM, or from one of the other modules. RPM, of course, comes from the ECM. So, ooh, that's rough, Jim. That'll get you every time. EFI on a 2-stroke. The deer must be out today. I don't know if you guys can hear the dogs, but they're going crazy. Listen, we got about 10 minutes left on the raffle here. It's just going to be another merch pack this week, but I think we might do something a little bit different next week. So make sure and swing in to the live show next Thursday, because it might be something that a lot of you guys and gals would like. It's not venison jerky. Oh, yeah, the deers. What's going to be interesting, Zeth, on my setup is because we're doing the 58 crank sensor, we're going to use one of the exhaust cam sensors, because they are 1X on the exhaust side. And it's going to be whether or not we can get the timing to work right for the cams for the injectors. Burley, what is up with the raffle? You just type in !raffle. It gives you a ticket. Here in about 9 minutes, it'll shut down and pick a random winner out of everybody that got a ticket for the raffle. And the person that wins, I'm going to send them a merch pack with some, decals and stuff like that. And it said next week, we might do something a little bit cooler. Hillary, I wouldn't do that to you. I appreciate all of the ladies that take the time to come in here and talk cars with us. Oh my God. I don't know why it blocked. Yeah, I was about to say. Nick says, what controls the negative spark values for shift? Torque management. That is part of your torque management. Sure, Troy. Love doing it. Thanks for taking the time to participate in the live show. Joe, welcome back for a second week. I appreciate everybody that takes the time to comment on the videos, too. Some guys helped me out where I had some misinformation on one of the Holly videos, straightened me out, found a new way of doing it. As I've said in the past, I'm not one of these guys that's going to try and blow smoke up your ass and tell you that I know everything. I'm far from the truth. I learn as much from you guys as you guys learn from me. Man, you guys talking about modifying these snowmobiles, that sounds like fun. I lived up in Alaska. I used to go watch the guys race them across the ponds. I'll give an E67 away. I've got plenty of them. Those out of country are not eligible to win an E67, though. Remy won the last one. I was unable to ship it to him because shipping was going to be $50. Ridiculous, you Canadians. You're not that far away. I don't understand why it's so expensive to ship you guys stuff. Guys should just join us. Dirt drags. That sounds like fun. Yeah, it said they race snowmobiles across lakes. Go look it up. It's whenever they're wet. Alpha N would be a good job or a good idea for something like that. Well, there you go, Nick. Race it across the pond. I did not. Did you send one over? Yeah, definitely, as always, shout out to Lowbuck and Dirt Floor for making their videos. Good information over there. Oh, hey! Hi, Dad. My dad's in here. Everybody tell my dad, Leroy, hello. Thanks for the smoky burn now, Nick. Appreciate it, brother. We need to get a new. We gotta get the car running so we can do a XLR smoky burnout. Oh, the snowmobile grass drags. Good to know. Set a new record. Dad, you were part of it. Appreciate you jumping in here to helping us break 80 viewers today. Getting all the love. Dad did not teach me how to work on cars, but he did teach me how to weld because we tore a lot of farm implements up. Anthony, that's a great idea. Patrons, you see this, we have a new competition coming up where we will have a smoky burnout competition, pick a winner, and it will be the new smoky burnout for smoky burnouts on here. Jerry says, got an AEM X Series wideband, the piggyback model. Can I just remove the factory O2 narrowband, put the wideband in that bung? Jerry, you can do that. Just remember, you want to be able to go back in and put the narrowband back in eventually so you can run closed loop. But while you are tuning, by all means, pull out the narrowband, throw it in there. Hey, Jeff, good to see you on here, brother. Thank you for offering up. Thank you for offering up some help on the Dodge stuff. We'll be diving into that. Zero, you remember. He's in Piedmont now. Through 25 Sonoma says, have you ever messed with the exhaust cam and timing on those L642s to increase power? No, but the theory is there. You basically are retarding the exhaust cam at a specific RPM range to increase cylinder pressure. I would like to get into more stuff on that 325 though. As Casey said, Lowbuck does have a new Facebook page. Lowbuck, Randy, go ahead and throw a link to your Facebook page out there. So anybody that is on Facebook can join in. Yeah. Oh, H over here, pretty good chance that he can win that competition. He's putting down some serious horsepower. And is getting ready to step up to the next level. Anthony says, do you recommend keeping the stock O2s on top of the AEM? I do. Personally, especially because you're running speed density. For cruising, you're only going to get so close. Thank you, Zeph. You're only going to get so close on your speed density, especially if it's virtual volumetric efficiency. We are ballparking that stuff. You're never going to be spot on like you are on a MAF sensor. And so whenever you are on the speed density tables, the O2s make up the difference. Keep you running where you want to run. And then whenever you're in power enrichment, they're shut off and we are commanding a very rich situation that you have a little bit more leniency in because you can make sure and jam her out in there. I don't think that Leroy Crawford is eligible, Ross. Burley brings up a point. If you do order a bung to weld into your exhaust, make sure it will thread in before you weld it in. And when you weld it in, take your time welding it because if you get too much heat into your O2 bung, it will warp and you will have a hard time. Casey, I do not get on Facebook. Doing the Biker Boy asks, doing the AEM with the MPVI on the serial You would ask off the top of my head. I can't remember which color wires that you use, Biker Boy. MacGruber, no, you're not going to be able to use the analog output on the AEM for closed loop because there's no way to change. There's some that you could. AEM doesn't do it, but there are some out there that have a simulated narrow band that you could use for closed loop. I did a video on O2 sensors not too long ago, specifically when I was considering what to get for Project Country Club. And there's a couple of them out there. Guys, fill in the blanks here. Which ones are the... yeah. Blue. Blue is the communication one? Right. Okay. Interesting technique there. Oh, hey. Where are we at here? We should be ready for the drawing. No, I've not done that straight dumb. I mean, you could do that. Ground wire's always pin 5 on DB9. It's standard 232 wiring. Okay, let's see who the lucky winner tonight is. Nick D. Congratulations, Nick. I've already got your address. Just shoot me an email, Nick, and remind me that you won tonight. Yes, Jeff was talking about the neural network on the Dodges. You can tune it, or you can turn it off and tune it in standard VE. Pins 2, 3, and 5. Unless it's 485, then it's pins 1, 4, and, well, 5, I guess, if it's 2-wire. You don't necessarily need the ground on 2-wire 485. Did Nick really just leave right before he lost? He would be so mad. Let me scroll up. I didn't see him leave. You want to talk Modbus, Randy? I'll talk Modbus all night. Wallace McCrae, you are the winner. I'll give Nick and Wallace both a pack. Congratulations to Wallace and Nick. I'll just write it down. Ah, that's so funny that he left right before he left. Or won right before he left. MacGruber 732. Congratulations, MacGruber. You win too. Tell you what you need to do, MacGruber. You need to send me an email at info@goatropegarage.com. with your address, and I will get it out. Probably be sometime next week. I'm not the quickest at shipping things, so I apologize beforehand. My wife has been trying to help me ship things. So, last but not least, we have Scuba Sam. I didn't even know you were in here, Sam. Didn't you win already? Yeah, exactly. Well, I've been feeling generous this week. Eddie, you're too late, brother. Come back next Thursday for next Thursday's raffle. You will not want to miss out on it. We'll make it something good. Whatever, TJ. I know better. You've already told me. Listen, Morford, I know exactly what you're talking about. I haven't done any tuning. Well, I did some stuff on the truck not too long ago. Scuba Sam's asleep right now. Either that or he left too. Stinker. You want a merch pack, Sam? $26.50. No, it's not going to be a $26.50 Maggie. It might be a dead XLR. Yeah, I might just cut the thing into pieces and raffle it off next week. Hey, Burley, thanks for stopping by as usual, brother. I appreciate it. Well, Eddie, welcome, brother. Appreciate it. Dirt Floor, you want both the headlights. You know better. And the taillights, right? Thomas, I did not. They were supposed to call me back this afternoon, give me an ETA on the Holly, but they didn't. Yeah, Sam, as I said, Wallace won, Wallace McRae, Nick D, McGruber, Scuba Sam. If you, if you want to, just remind me that, shoot me an email and remind me. Diego says, after tuning your trans, is it normal for it to run a lot hotter? What did you change on your trans tune? Is it not locking up now? Because that will definitely make it hotter. If you're running higher pressures, that can do it. The last ones that I saw, Randy, were going for $3,000 a piece for the headlights. The Blue Cat Trans Tool. Double check your. Double check the changes that were made to torque converter lockup. Make sure that it's not just staying unlocked the whole time. It's good for power, not good for temperatures. Ryan says stock LS2 pulls upwards of 6 degrees of timing after 3200 on R87. It is no, yes, Ryan, yes, no. The timing map's not aggressive. It's just 87 is crap. That is the whole purpose of having a high and low octane table. It's falling back to the low octane table like it's supposed to. Zach, the drawings are random. The tickets are free. Whenever we do the raffle, you'll see it pop up. All you have to do is just type in !raffle, and it gets you a ticket. It's free. Okay. Yeah, I can do that, Ross. That's a good idea. The Blue Cat Tool B is a tool that optimizes your transmission. Yeah, 220 is where it gets dangerous. You definitely don't want to get above 200 if you can keep it from happening. I'm just making notes over here. If you guys see me look to the right, I'm just doing notes. I mean, not locking up till 5th or 6th should be all right. What kind of temperatures are you seeing? Matt, I'm not sure. There should be. It's you know, it won't be on the E38 itself. It will be the TCM that you'd be looking at. But there should be parameters in the scanner that allows you to see pressures. Whoo! 264 is a little warm. Danderson GM says, I have a 2002 Trans Am M6 car. When going wide open throttle after 3,600 RPMs, it pulls 4 degrees and only 4. Yeah, if you took 4 degrees out and it's still 4 degrees, there's a good chance that it is false knock. Just barely dumb down your sensitivity on your knock sensors. Don't go crazy. Maybe 10%. In Danderson, it depends on how the knock sensors are set up. Most of them are a threshold saying that if the voltage of the knock sensor exceeds this, it's considered knock. So, add 10% to make it 10% less sensitive. Randy, I've not messed with LS Droid because I don't have anything that LS Droid works on. Frankenstein doesn't have the A-bomb doesn't have temp gauges on the trans. 92 LSC Kid brings up a good point. Make sure it's not something else. But most likely if you're seeing consistent 4 degrees, it's probably false knock. Yeah, I dug into it a week or two ago and in the hopes of being able to do some videos on LS Droid, but as I said, I just don't really have a way of diving into it right now. So I guess, you know, it's a reason that we're going to have to buy a 3rd gen. Good to know, Zero. There's a kit to remove the T-stat on the 6L80s. Zach says, definitely check that TCC lockup solenoid. Love to drive my truck with it unlocked. But even running half-inch hydraulic hose, 2 Durale coolers in parallel, she'd get up to 170 quickly. Yep. Exactly. Zest says, it's got a fan cooled trans cooler. As long as the fan's on, I consider it's cool enough. McGruber says he's in and out of PE when going uphill in 5th on highway. Have you adjusted your PE enable settings down low, or is it downshifting that would cause this? Or is it maintaining your last, you know, your drive gear 4 or 6, wherever you're on? Hey everybody, B said he's going to give me a 3rd gen car to tune on. Thank you, B. Appreciate it, brother. I'm just kidding. I'm going to have to build a shop for the 3rd gen. Casey is now saying that we're just going to build a engine stand and just play with everything. That wouldn't be a bad idea, Casey, to actually just do an engine stand and just tune junkyard engines to dive into it that way. Big dreams, aspirations. Ross, I think you're a little bit too far away, brother, or else I would. I'd take you up on that because it's definitely a good platform. McGruber said he's tried dropping P enable to as low as 85. What's your RPM set to for PE enable? Or PE delay, I should say. Randy said, just don't let Ross's son drive. Stress, that's how you stress test. Well, there you go, McGruber. Bump that up, man. That's super low. That's why you're getting into PE. Are you forced induction on this thing? No, I need to go back to Diego and check that out. I will, though. I've just been tied up with other stuff. I'm glad that you reminded me. In fact, I've got the editor opened up. I can look at it. When did this happen, Ross? Did I miss a video on this? Did you get it on video? Is your son all right? Let me ask that. Thank you, Mark H. It's Michael. But I like that it's MKH, so as in Mark H. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate you swinging by, brother, as always. I got distracted. I get distracted. You guys know me. Let me see if I can find the tune that I was running on that. October, November. Yeah, we'll just look at this one. Oh, I saw that one. Okay, yeah, I saw that one. I thought that you meant that he recently jumped it. Hey, Zeth, thanks for stopping by and supporting the channel, brother, and being my favorite. You know what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm going to have to dive back into it. So it's 8:56. We're wrapping up right now. Trying to look at where cutoff is. Miscellaneous case learn, blah, blah, blah. Startup, control method, no shift list, acceleration. Where is this park cutoff? I don't see it on this platform on the truck. Great night, everybody. Great night, by the way. Thank you, everybody that took the time to show out. Make sure you guys come back next Thursday, as I said. We'll have something very interesting, I promise. One way or the other, it's going to happen. I got some ideas floating around to make a good drawing out next week. Another great episode of In Tune. Still rocking my In Tune shirt. I gave away all of my... Dude, Randy, it is time for another weekend live show. I've been sick, and so I've just been sleeping all weekend. Busy throughout the day, sleeping all weekend. Bring your questions, B. Adam, appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody who contributes to the channel. Suggestions, answers, questions. Brian, anything specific I should look for? This will be the last question of the night. Brian, anything specific I should look for whenever doing Gen 4 VE tuning? Just prepared to do a lot of tuning, Brian. It takes time. Try and keep your transition smooth through the zones. Look at your zones first, then go apply your changes. Make sure anywhere you're crossing over to zones. I like to try and smooth the majority of the map out. It is a learning experience. VE tuning on the Gen 4 and Gen 5s are probably the most complicated thing on this, honestly. A lot of the torque stuff is complicated, but it's a little bit more responsive to changes that we make. But VE, whenever it calculates the coefficients, the smoother that it is before it calculates, the easier that it's going to calculate and the less changes it's going to make. So just think smooth. Think smooth, Thanks, Smooth. So that being said, thanks to everybody, as always, for the subscriptions. Thanks for everybody that hits that thumbs up button down there on this video and all the other videos. Thanks for everybody that takes the time to participate on the comments. Thanks for all the patrons out there. Couldn't do it without you guys. And thanks for spending Thursday nights with the garage. Remember, ABT, always be tuning. And thanks for stopping by the garage. I don't even have my thing pulled up here to... Here we go. In screen time.